Howdy folks, how we going? Thanks for joining me in the brewery. Late Sunday afternoon, I'm doing a very short notice brew. I haven't got a normal grain brew on for a good couple of weeks, and I think the ferment fridge is getting a bit bloody lonely, so time to do a brew. So, given we're not that far off summer, I think it's time for the this year's version of the Loaded Dog. Partly because I don't have to muck around with whirlpools and carry on. I can just do just do the mash and then get on with cooling and get this filler in the fermenter. But anyway, so I'm just mashing in. I've got my water at 54 degrees because I'm using Voyager unmodified Pilsner for this. That's the bulk of the grain. About 80, somewhere around 86% of the fermentables. So I want to give it a little bit of a run down that lower protein rest point and let it develop the proteins, and then we'll continue through the mash. But anyway, I'm going to get this fella happening. I'm going to go and grab myself a beer. Join me at the table and we'll have a chat about what's going on. Righto folks, we're underway on the Loaded Dog Lager for 2023. It's late Sunday afternoon, I'm hanging about. I haven't done a brew for a while, so I need to get something done. Quick look, what's something I can do relatively quickly. It's not going to take me into too late in the night. Nice simple lager, so the Loaded Dog is on. What's got to happen here, I'm just getting the brew father all set, cleaning's done, that's all good. All good. Yeah, so what we're looking at is 83.3% Voyager under-modified Pilsner malt. Because it's under-modified, I'm doing a 54 degree protein rest before I get into the main mash temperature, just to make sure I've broken down that protein and get them sugars ready to convert once we get into the mash. 6.6% of caramel light and 3.7% of Carapils. Now I'd normally use Carahel in the Loaded Dog, but I didn't have enough. I've got about a third of what I actually wanted, so I've just flipped it out. I've had the caramel light and the Carapils, so it gets me somewhere in the same sort of range. I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work fine. Then there'll be 6.3% of dextrose just to finish out in the boil, which will be to make sure, just to help keep the body, reasonably light and to counteract any little bit of heaviness that might come in from that caramel light and the Carapils. Again, the Loaded Dog always carries a small percentage of dextrose, not a real lot. This year I'm back to our normal hopping after last year's Super Pride incident, which ran us into the Great Northern clone. So we will change that up. So I'm just doing that right now. Getting where I want. So that's our 60-minute edition. I want about 16, so I've got 15.7 IBUs there. That's good. And 10-minute edition to get me about another let's go another 6 IBUs for a total of 22. I don't mind pushing the IBU a little bit on the Aussie lager. It's certainly higher than most commercial versions, but that's where it is. I normally sit at 20 to 22 IBU. And again, I want to push just a little bit higher, just to make sure we're covering that caramel malt, to make sure it doesn't get a little bit too much sweetness coming from the back. I want a little bit, but I don't want too much, so that little bit extra IBU will help balance that out. So that's all good. I've treated the water, the usual suspects. I've got the calcium absorbate, the vitamin C powder, and the sodium met for treating the chlorine. A little bit of gypsum, about not quite 3:1 gypsum to calcium chloride, light dose of chloride, and a really light dose of Epsom salt. Gives me a dry to bitter profile on the water, and I've dropped in enough lactic that I should get a final mash pH somewhere around 5.1 to 5.2. So that's her. So she's underway. This brew started here. This has been going for about 13 or 14 minutes. Our first rest is 20 minutes, and we'll continue on. So I've got about 5 minutes left before I will raise that temp to 63. I will hold that for 30 minutes, then I'll raise it to 68, hold for another 30, and then raise to 75 and hold that for 20. Well, not going to hold it. Their actual time, that includes the ramp time, so that will be all good. I said no sparge, full volume. I've got 23 litres in the Brewzilla. I'm going for 18 litre knockout, and that's simply because it's an amount that's easy for me to work with the chiller and stuff. The chiller fits that easily, and again, I was trying to keep this brew as simple as I could today. I will probably knock that down to about 14 litres into the actual fermenter. I'm going to sacrifice that, about 4 litres just for the sake of making my day a little bit easier. As I said, it's a bit late in the afternoon, it's 4 o'clock already. So, the easier I can make on myself, the better. But anyway, so that's her. So, continue on with this, and I'll run you through some shots as we go through the day, and I'll probably be back with a bit of a wrap up. Righto, we're mid-mash, just raising the temperature to 68 from 63 mash. Just going to grab a quick refract just to see how we're tracking. So we're about 10:29. That's probably pretty close to where I expect to be at the moment. So we've got another half an hour to mash here. We're only looking for about 10:42 original gravity. So realistically, I'm going to pick up another probably 4 or 5 points. Second half of the mash and we're good. So thumbs up for now. Right, mash is done. Pull the malt pipe anyway. Get this coming to a boil. Have a look at our pre-boil volume. Right now, let's get this bloody malt pipe up. Right, rather boil. I've missed the hop rate. So, as a fair dinkum, no bullshit fucking YouTube channel, I'll edit in some stock footage. Anyway, fried Ringwood, naked, balls out. That's 10 grams, which is going to get me supposedly 16 IBUs. Anyway, we're boiling like a bastard, we're looking good. 15 minutes to go, Juice Nutrient and Wellfloc. Righto, 10 minutes to go on the boil, 220 grams of dextrose. And that killed the ball quickly, that'll come back. 11 grams of Pride of Ringwood, which is going to give about another 6 IBU at the end. I think we've got 10 minutes to go. I'm going to grab the chiller, stick it in here for the last 10 minutes so it's ready to do its business when the end of the boil comes. Alright, boiler's done, chiller's on. We're looking about target volume, so it's just going to be a case of where we finish up on the gravity. I'll catch up shortly. Righto, we've finished the cooling. I'm about to transfer to the fermenters, and we've got a gravity of about 143, looking for 141, so we're a little bit up. I'm just going to run with that. It's not quite as far over as what I thought we were going to get to, so just going to go with that. There's about showing 18 litres in the RoboBrew, which means there's probably going to be more like 17 litres. It's about a litre out, so I will going to put 8 litres, thereabouts, 7 or 8 litres into 2 of my Fermenter King Juniors, and we'll ferment those out, and I'll be using different yeast on both. So half will get Saftlager S189 and the other half will get Lal Brew Diamond. Now I'm just going to go 1 pack dry on each of these. I said, yeah, 7-ish litres. We're talking about 1.5 grams a litre. It's not a big pitch, but it's not a small pitch either. 1043, it's not a big gravity, so I think we should be fine. Ferment profile, I'm going to run 11 degrees for I think it was 4 days. I've got yeah, 4 days at 11 degrees. I'm going to put 4 psi pressure into the fermenters for that first 4 days, just enough to suppress a little bit. It's not going to do much. It's going to really should let the yeast do same thing pretty much. Then we'll go up to 13 degrees for another 4 days. I'll let that rise to 12 psi. Then we'll rise up to 17 and I'll let it come up to 18 psi. So that'll be 12 days all up. At that point we should be done and ready for a cold crash, which I'll do at around 2 degrees. Do that for about 5 days. So that should give me plenty of time for the lager yeast to do its thing, ferment slowly, not produce any weird characters, which is partly what the PSI, the pressure, is going to help with. But it's more just to play with that, and we'll see how we go. But that's her. She's nice and she's fairly clear. Probably a bit lighter on the malt than I would particularly like, but anyway, that's where she is. We'll see where it comes out at. So we've got a 17-day ferment. I'm going to let this one sit for at least 3 weeks before we even look at doing any tasters. So it's going to be somewhere around 6 weeks away. 8th of October. We're looking very much the end of November. Sneaking up on summer when this fella's going to be ready for tasting and drinking. So that's all good. That's our target. So, got any comments or any questions? Stick them down the bottom. Patrons of the channel, thank you much as always for your support. If you're interested in Patreon, there's a link down the bottom. If you subscribe to the channel, thank you as well. If you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell, get notified when there's a video, you don't miss anything. And if you like what's going on, give me a thumbs up. But other than that, we're done. So, Loaded Dog Lager 2023 is underway. So, till I see you in the next video, when we, brew and beer, drink and beer, talk a bit. Good brewing.